Manatee County school officials choosing an interim superintendent tonight. Why she stood out against other possibilities. Plus, wildfires in 3 states forcing thousands to evacuate from their homes and national parks to lock down. And how the community is honoring the lives lost on this day 2 years ago at an Orlando nightclub. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Jacqueline is off this evening. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Our top story, Manatee County School Board members deciding just hours ago who they want as an interim superintendent to replace Diana Green, who will be leaving in a few weeks after taking a similar job in Duval County. The majority of the board is supporting Deputy Superintendent Cynthia Saunders. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from Manatee County School District headquarters in Bradenton with more. Rick?
Yes, Scott, good evening. They voted 4-1 in favor of Saunders. She'll have to find a place very soon by July 1st. The discussion of naming an interim superintendent for the Manatee County School District took center stage, first at a workshop on Tuesday afternoon and then at the school board meeting later that night.
I think it's imperative that we go through a full process and choose the right person, but I think Cynthia Saunders is that person.
School board members will now enter into negotiations with Saunders to officially become interim superintendent. Current superintendent Dr. Diana Green has accepted the superintendent job in Duval County. Her last day in Manatee County is June 30th. Cynthia Saunders, who has worked alongside Green as deputy superintendent of instructional services, is the person a lot of the residents support as well.
I've come to know her as a very methodical yet decisive decision maker, and that's what we need right now.
In addition to Saunders, the other names that were being tossed around include Dr. Susan Agruso, chair for the Manatee County Audit Committee, and Doug Wagner, executive director for the Adult, Career, and Technical Education for the school district. Board members say the interim superintendent will have a huge responsibility while the search for a permanent superintendent takes place.
We don't want to turn around. We don't want to have any breaks in leadership.
And a formal announcement of Saunders is expected to happen in the coming days. Reporting live from Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams. Scott, back to you.
Okay, Rick, thank you. The school board of Manatee County also getting excellent ratings for staying under budget. A report released today by S&P Global Ratings, which deals with credit ratings, gives the school board an A, which is 2 levels higher than the district's previous grade. The report says in part the grade reflects the board's recent trend of stable operating performance and improved reserves, adding that the board operated below budget in 2017 by more than $8 million. For the first time since Sarasota County Schools decided to create its own district police force, district administrators and local law enforcement sat down to talk about school safety. Going into today's meeting, the district's goal was to have its police force up and running by the start of the school year in August and have its own officers in place. The superintendent planned to have local law enforcement fill in the holes. Well, today, the sheriff and area police chiefs told school officials they needed more notice. So now the plan has changed. The district and local law enforcement are now planning on having law enforcement officers in every school at the start of the year in case the district has not hired enough officers yet.
Timing has been the biggest stressor to me, quite honestly. And what I heard this morning is an offer from our local partners to say, let us start the school year in all of your elementary schools, and when your force is ready, you can relieve us of that responsibility.
Even though the superintendent was very aggressive in his mannerisms and comments about not needing the sheriff's office services, I answer to the community, not to the superintendent. And I'm going to make sure the elementary schools are safe. You're with me as well.
All groups put the cost of security aside today. That's something they plan on discussing in the near future. Time now to get a check on our weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. An exciting day in the Weather Center, Bob.
Yeah, there wasn't much really, but one storm that really fired off a lot of rainfall, some lightning, and yes, a water spout down the Manatee River. And we were swamped with a lot of photos and videos. I'm going to show you some video a little later, but This one from Melanie looking from Parrish southward toward the Manatee River there. And again, another one from Brian. Appreciate all the photos sent in to pics@mysuncoast.com and my email at bharrigan@mysuncoast.com. Well, we still have some storms out there. High pressure is situated right over the central portion of the state and a very light wind around that in a clockwise fashion, bringing these showers again out into the Gulf of Mexico. We can see that lightning off in the distance. If you look to the south, you'll be able to see those flashes continue for the next couple of hours as this storm will continue to wind down. We have a couple of surface boundaries still out there, but with an east wind, there's not much convergence taking place. During the daytime with that west wind, we certainly would see some storms firing off there, but we'll keep an eye on this activity. It's going to stay to our south, moving through Captiva. Fort Myers had some heavy rainfall this evening. Not much going on here. One or two lone sprinkles still remaining. More on this and the tropics. Things are improving down there in the Western Caribbean. We'll have the details on that in just a few minutes. Scott?
Okay, Bob, thank you. Now for some eye-opening stories happening around the country. We begin in Tennessee with new updates involving a grandmother who transported 2 children inside pet kennels. Leonie Cheeks is now behind bars and charged with 2 counts of child endangerment after a concerned citizen took video of the 2 children being led out of the kennels in the back of a vehicle. The children told police their grandmother told them there was no room in the back seat. A teenager is now in the spotlight after being accused of bragging about murder on Facebook. Prosecutors say the unnamed girl shot a man in the head twice last week and then set his house on fire. Investigators found her after she posted a picture on social media at the victim's house before he died and then boasted about shooting someone. Former President George H.W. Bush turning 94 years old today. The milestone bestowed upon him a new record. The elder Bush is now the first former U.S. president to reach that age. Remember, former President Gerald Ford died at the age of 93. Former President Jimmy Carter will also turn 94, coming up on October 1st. A spokesman says Bush marked the day with a low-key family celebration at his home in Maine. He's been hospitalized twice since the death of his wife Barbara back in April. More than 2,000 people are displaced from their homes tonight because of wildfires in Colorado. One wildfire began over the weekend and a new one started today in the mountains. The blaze has consumed about 90 acres so far. It's about 70 miles away from Denver. The U.S. Forest Service has closed the San Juan National Forest, which is of almost 2 million acres.
The fire grew extremely rapidly. As a result, we called in an aggressive air attack, recognizing a location near 2 big subdivisions here in the Wilderness and Mesa Cortina area.
Just north of the Colorado border, another large fire is burning in Wyoming, and there's another fire currently burning in northern New Mexico as well. In Orlando, new updates on a hostage situation that left 1 man and 4 children dead. Authorities were called to an apartment for a domestic dispute Sunday night. When they got there, a man inside started shooting at officers, hitting one of them. The suspect then barricaded himself and the children inside the apartment. Officers say when they went inside, they found all 4 children with gunshot wounds. They believe the suspect shot all 4 before taking his own life. A Chick-fil-A parking lot in Oklahoma looked like a crime scene, crawling with police. No arrests were involved, but a snake did slither across the lot and into a customer's car. No one could catch the hitchhiker, so police came to the rescue. Chick-fil-A thanked the officers by giving them some free Chick-fil-A chicken. Students across the country taking part in National Die-In Day today in protest of weak gun laws on the anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting. This is video of students protesting in Chicago, Tampa, and Washington, D.C. Many other cities across the country had their own events and speakers. Here in the Suncoast, friends and family remember a local victim of the Pulse nightclub shooting. Rob McGovern was Eddie Sotomayor's best friend for 16 years before he was shot and killed that night. Today, McGovern held a memorial in City Hall to remember him and the 48 other lives that were lost. Sotomayor's sister and aunt were also there, and they say as time goes on, it doesn't get much easier to live without Eddie. McGovern says he wants everyone to remember Eddie for the loving and kind person he was. And if Eddie were here today,
I would say that your death wasn't in vain and your life wasn't in vain, and you made a difference while you were here, and not only in my life, but in so many people's lives.
McGovern says he chose City Hall to include the vice mayor and make it an official Sarasota remembrance for his friend. He plans to have a similar memorial every year. Straight ahead, we'll get back to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. We'll have our first alert forecast for the rest of the work week, plus how Domino's plans to make the roads safer for your pizza delivery, and why the 6-year-old on this boat is now bragging about his pet shark.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
A little bit of everything in weather today.
Yeah, I was
even
thinking,
some rain.
I was thinking it was going to be an easy afternoon, easy show, but no. Things started happening, Facebook, social media, mysuncoast.com, Engage videos, so everything started to fall in place there as far as updating, and I hope everyone saw the video. And if you haven't, you can go to mysuncoast.com and see the water spout, which doesn't happen all the time, but in this situation it does. You have a west wind and a little bit of an outflow boundary kind of working their way together and creating enough spin in the atmosphere to kick one of those off. Well, here it is, the video again sent by Ken Carpenter earlier today from Mill Creek. We appreciate all the videos sent in too. And it didn't do any damage, obviously. These water spouts, when they look that thin, aren't very strong at all. The ones that come down with cold fronts, those are the one you have to really be worried about because they maintain their organization and become EF0, EF1 tornadoes. So this one did not. And the enemy or webcam, got to look at the boat. Watch the boat as we go through time. And you can tell where we're going as far as tide goes. If this moves, it's not moving right now. There we go. The boat just kind of sinking down as the low tide approached right around 7 o'clock. Then it started coming back up after that as we moved through the tides today. Well, the photos, a lot of them were sent in today. Here's just a few. Tropicana Field. Well, let's talk about beautiful weather. Genevieve Judge, the PIO for the Sarasota Police, getting this as she's going to the ball game. Double rainbow, what does it mean? Warren Brittingham from Manatee River, that long rope-looking cloud. That's an interesting shot. And then we I have to show sunsets, right? Braden Beach, Mike getting that, and Norm from Venice, a rare shot from Venice. Well, the only bad thing about the beach weather has been the red tide, and it has been reported by a lot of folks going out there. Some of the irritations being felt, Nokomis Beach, Venice Beach, also up near Siesta Key and near Big Pass, a little bit near New Pass as well. Even some spotty reports in the Manatee County. Let's hope that doesn't get worse. So we need that east wind to kick in, and it hasn't happened yet because high pressure has been right over the top of us. We're looking at medium to high, not yet high, but medium concentrations, 100,000 to 1 million cells per liter in some of these reports, the ones you saw there in orange. Well, some of the high cloudiness coming up and some of the storminess coming up from that tropical system to our south, but that's not going to have an impact on us. Still, though, some pretty big cells around down near Fort Myers and near Naples, Sanibel Island, heading off into the Gulf right now. That high pressure ridge pretty much the axis right over central Florida. And we have this persistent little trough in the upper level of the atmosphere located to the north of us. And you can see those storms moving off to the west. They will continue out here for the next hour or so, and they will eventually dissipate here by, say, midnight or 1 o'clock, and you'll still see some of the lightning flashes out there. That ends, as I said, through time. We may see some of the cloudiness around to start things off tomorrow morning, but generally sunny skies anticipated throughout the morning. Early afternoon, we'll start to see some shower activity developing as that sea breeze moves on inland, and then it will push again toward the central part of the state where we'll see a little bit better chance for some rainfall. So the forecast planner tomorrow does call for a few isolated showers like we saw today, but the rain chance is very small. Temperatures will warm into the upper 80s. And in the tropics, this system is falling apart, and not much chance of it developing. In fact, the Hurricane Center has now bumped it down to 0% chance of developing in the next 2 days and 20% chance in the next 5 days in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. Currently, we have 78 degrees. A very light wind with high pressure right over the top of us, 30.09 on the barometer. Forecast tomorrow, as I alluded to, a slight chance for some showers in the afternoon. Most of the action inland, and shouldn't be much. 1 or 2 of those showers may punch to the coast, but it won't be very likely. Winds for boaters tomorrow. Northeast winds turn to the west at 5 to 10 knots. Good boating weather. A light chop on the bays and inland waters as far as the extended forecast goes. Well, here it is. Slight chance for showers on Wednesday, and again, this should be a Wednesday. It's not Tuesday, but the days have changed here. But 40% chance again on Thursday in the afternoon, and then we'll see a slight chance for showers and storms over the weekend, just at 30 to 40%. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. If you or your kids are chicken nugget lovers, you may want to check your freezer. Tyson Food is recalling more than 3,000 pounds of its frozen breaded chicken tenderloins with the code P746 on the packaging. Federal food safety investigators say the breading may be contaminated with plastic. Domino's Pizza is getting into the road repair business, apparently. The company is now asking people across the country to nominate which cities are most in need of road repair. The company explained their newest promotion, called Paving the Pizza This Way. Potholes on the road can cause irreversible damage to your pizza during the drive home from Domino's. The company said it's already paved potholes in 4 cities across the country. Christian Louboutin has won its fight to prevent other designers from copying its signature red-soled stilettos. The case started in 2012 when the company sued a Dutch retail chain over its own version of the red-soled shoes. The chain had argued the EU law bars the trademarking of products with common shapes like shoes. But today, the European Union's highest court ruled that is not the case with the famous red soles. A judge in the U.S. ruling today that AT&T can move forward with its acquisition of Time Warner, a case that's been ongoing now for nearly 2 years. Today, Judge Richard Leon ruled the deal does not violate antitrust law and can proceed. When AT&T announced plans to acquire Time Warner in 2016, then candidate Donald Trump pledged that his administration would block the deal, saying it's too much concentration of power in the hands of too few. The Justice Department has the option of appealing the decision, but they must do it by next week. The first face-to-face meeting of an American president and the dictator of North Korea happening overnight. President Trump shaking hands with Kim Jong-un, a man he had once mocked, but now says they can have a terrific relationship. But what did the president give to get a denuclearization promise? And what do members of Congress think about the president's deal-making? ABC's Serena Marshall has more from Washington.
With a wave and a fist pump, the president heading back to D.C., confident his gamble and deal-making with North Korea will pay off. telling ABC's George Stephanopoulos exclusively.
I've done a lot of deals with a lot of people. We're starting from a very good relationship. This has been a very big day in terms of the world.
The deal they struck, President Trump promising security guarantees as Kim declared his unwavering commitment to complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, but missing any mention of timing or verification. The president saying that'd come later, even though he promised the U.S. would cease all military exercises with South Korea.
We will be stopping the war games.
That promise, a surprise to South Korea. Their defense ministry said there was a need to discern the exact meaning and intent of President Trump's comments. When asked about the concessions, Mr. Trump wouldn't get into specifics, but did say
he's going to be happy. His country does love him. His people, you see the fervor.
Kim is a brutal dictator. He runs a police state, forced starvation, labor camps. He's assassinating members of his own family. How do you trust a killer like that?
George, I'm given what I'm given, okay? I mean, I think he wants to denuke. It's very important. Without that, there's nothing to discuss.
On Capitol Hill, cautious optimism.
There's nothing in the history of Kim Jong-un or his father or his grandfather that would lead us to be optimistic. Nonetheless, we have to try.
Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Florida businesses have a new way to prepare for and react to natural disasters like hurricanes. The Florida Department of Economic Opportunity creating the website floridadisaster.biz, which has information on preparing a business in advance of a storm, as well as where to look for help if it's been damaged. This includes links to short-term loan programs, damage surveys, and local emergency contacts.
The community relies on businesses, and the employees that work in those businesses also do. And so the quicker businesses open up, the quicker the community gets back to feeling normal, and then they're going to recover even that much faster.
Proctor adds most shop owners also have plans for their families and homes in advance of a disaster. Sarasota is moving forward on a long-term plan to bring new sand to Lido Beach. This comes after the city was granted $13.4 million in federal funding. The city's initial plan calls for sand to be pumped from Big Pass to help restore more than 2 miles of the badly eroded beach. Lido Beach visitors welcome the news.
Whatever they got to spend, they got to do it. It's got to be done. They're going to be losing money. These hotels and these people that own property here. Come on, they pay their taxes.
The 15-year plan will include restoration projects every 5 years. City officials say the sand is expected to be placed on that beach as soon as possible. A fire destroys a Bradenton mobile home today. It happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Plaza Mobile Court off 14th Street West in Bradenton. When firefighters arrived there, they found the home fully engulfed by flames. It took them around 5 minutes to get it under control. Fire officials say a quick response time kept it from spreading to other homes.
We strategically place our stations for good response times and things. This one just happens to be very close to a station, and it is key. And as you can see, the homes are very close together in this neighborhood, and that's a priority of ours is to maintain the things that are not burned.
No one was home at the time, but a pet bird died in the fire. The home was a total loss. The cause of that fire is under investigation. Sports is coming up next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel's New Tonight with the very rugged Kevin Costner.
Well, that's perfect.
From 13 Reasons Why, Catherine Langford and Weezer rocks the outdoor stage. Plus, Jimmy and Guillermo make it official.
I hereby declare you my friend.
Kimmel, New Tonight on ABC.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score. It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach. Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small, so Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Now, sports.
Well, after losing 9 out of 10 games, the Rays trying to start a win streak this week. The Rays hosting Toronto, looking for their second straight win over the Jays tonight. We'll pick it up in the third inning. No score yet in this game. Rays catcher Wilson Ramos hits one deep, long, and gone to center field. That's a 2-run shot. It's his 8th home run of the season, and the Rays lead it 2-0. Now 2-1 Rays. Joey Wendell sends a base hit to right. That scores C.J. Crone from third. Rays extend the lead to 3-1. Same inning, runners on the corners. Malik Smith lines one to center for a single that scores another run. The Rays a winner again tonight, 4-1. The Sun Dome at the University of South Florida has a new name. Starting July 1st, it will now be called the Yuengling Center. USF reaching a deal with DJ Yuengling and Son for the naming rights, which will be for at least the next 10 years. And maybe Tampa will host one of these next year. Hundreds of thousands of fans lining Constitution Avenue and fill the National Mall to celebrate the Washington Capitals' first Stanley Cup championship. The parade and rally midway between the U.S. Capitol and Washington Monument commemorated the first D.C. title in the major 4 professional sports since the Redskins won the Super Bowl back in 1992, and the first cup in the Capitol's 44-year history. The NBA champs also celebrating today. For the second straight year, throngs of Golden State Warrior fans turned out for a victory parade. Hundreds of thousands of fans in gold and blue holding signs that read Dynasty and back-to-back champions waved from behind barriers set up along the route in Oakland as the Warriors rode by in an open double-decker bus. Stephen Curry, NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant, and the rest of the Warriors, who won their 3rd title in 4 years last week, took turns raising the Larry O'Brien Trophy for the roaring crowd, which officials estimated to be close to 1 million fans. They're getting used to that there in Oakland. All right, that's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers right after this.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, look at this, Bob. The father and son made a new friend while boating off Anna Maria Island. This is a large hammerhead shark. They spotted the hammerhead swimming in shallow waters, only about 4 feet deep there. Hammerheads do not seek out humans as prey, but they will attack, I'm told, if provoked. They love tarpon. That's why they're close, right?
Tarpon searching right there, I'm sure, right there. Look how clear that water was right there. The only problem with the problem right now is red tide. We've got that. We have a report coming out tomorrow. Here's the 7-day, the real 7-day, 30% chance tomorrow and 40 on Thursday. Not a bad weekend. Just some scattered storms. Most of that should be inland.
We can deal with that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night, everyone.